Namaste, friends, and welcome to this month's New Moon Intentions Report. I'm Jenny D, author, consultant, and New Moon astrologer. In this month's episode, we'll be talking about Aries in action. So I'll be going through some of the universal energies, some of the common blocks to manifestation in this vibe, and pose some questions you might want to ask yourself as you set the New Moon intentions this month. In this part of the show, I'm going to review the universal energy of Aries, what we normally associate with that vibe. Now, Aries coincides with the coming of spring, the beginning of the new year when everything is rebirthing. So it's about new beginnings and starting anew. It's really great energy to let go of the past and move forward with conviction. Aries is also a very masculine energy, and we might find ourselves a little aggressive or assertive or competitive. And it's a kind of a take charge and make things happen energy. And it's great to keep us going forward. It's passionate, it's full of creative energy sparks. It's got all this juicy energy, fiery vibe behind it. So it's really exciting that it coincides with new beginnings, because what's better to start than with a spark, right? And then finally, Aries is also our ego and personality. It's our sense of identity, our sense of self. It's who we are on the inside to the core. So before you're really ready to set those intentions this month, I want you to take some time to ask yourself some questions that, reflect this overall vibe of Aries. Who do I want to be? What am I passionate about? What new beginnings await me? Well, in addition to supportive energies of the new moon, there are also some common blocks to each sign of the zodiac that may unknowingly hinder your ability to manifest. So we don't realize that as much as we want to set our intentions, there's things that hold us back in that certain vibe. So as much as it's passionate and full of rebirth energy, there's some things that you might want to be on the lookout for that could be blocking some of your massive manifestation in the Aries vibe. I'm going to go through 4 of those such blocks. The first one is lack of identity. So often we don't allow ourselves to be ourselves. We put on this mask and we be what people say we should be, who we think we should be, should, right? And we should all over ourselves. And instead of embracing who we truly are. Now, how that plays into the manifestation problem is that if you're not coming from the source of who you are at your soul, then how can it manifest right for you? By being somewhere we're not, we're tainting that vibe. We have to come from setting our intentions with the purest of our soul vibe. So own who you are, embrace it. Who cares what people think about who you are and who you project in the world? Remove that mask. Be vulnerable. Take me or leave me. I've been learning that a lot myself lately. Don't dull yourself down. Don't take away that light that makes you you just because it's not right for someone else. You don't have to make anyone else comfortable. Your identity and accepting it and owning it is what's going to bring those manifestations quicker than anything else. So that's one block to be on the lookout for. Another one is ego exaggeration. Yeah, the Aries vibe can tend to be a little on the self-serving, self-absorbed, and competitive side. And it's actually not a bad thing. I mean, egos get a bad rap, but it's there because it helps us own who we are, like we're talking about. And we need to have this healthy connection to ourselves. We need to have healthy competition in our lives, not to prove something to anyone else, but to kind of better ourselves each time. How can we compete with who we are now to be a better version of ourselves? So our ego plays this important role in defining our strengths and our confidence, and we can actually be masters of ourselves when we embrace this. But we have to be careful not to exaggerate our ego. We have to come from a place of our heart and our spirit and check in with ourselves. When we're overly confident or you see somebody who seems a little bit over the top, it's really not confidence. What it is, it's a mask of insecurity. So if you find yourself being on the wrong side of the healthy ego spectrum, take a look at what insecurities are coming up for you. What is blocking you? What fears? What can't you accept about yourself? Know that you're enough. Know that you're perfect the way you are. And then let it naturally unfold your ego. Let it guide you instead of own you. Another block you might want to consider is jumping into action. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an aggressive energy. It's a take charge. It's a go, 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 go. And sometimes we find ourselves leaping into action before we actually think through it. And taking action just to take action is not exactly the right way to do things. And I guess I should clarify, it's not even the thinking before you take an action, because our heads can get in the way, but that's Gemini. We'll get there later. It's more, do you feel before you act? Have you checked in with your heart and your spirit before being so impulsive? Not to say that impulsiveness is necessarily bad, because sometimes we need to take that leap, right? But not if it's not in alignment with ourselves. If you're taking action just because you think, oh, well, I have this manifestation and I want to do that, but if I don't show the universe that I'm serious about it, if I don't, take some kind of action, they won't take me serious. And that's no, because action should be effortless. It should be natural. It should be easy. It should be guided. It should feel right. It's all these things. And you want to just check yourself before you take an action. I mean, sometimes we have to push ourselves through fear, but that's not the same as leaping into action. It's get your heart on board, get your spirit on board, and then move forward. And if you're not there yet, it's okay to be patient. I know patience is not running rampant right now during this time of year. especially in spring as warmer weather and you want to get out there. But just chill a little bit. Let it fall naturally. Curb the impulses until the time is right. And then a final block you might want to consider while you're setting your intentions this month is the opposite of jumping into action, and that would be the lack of action. The lack of moving forward can be just as much of a block as impulsively moving forward. It can present itself as procrastination, which is actually a cover for your fear of failure or your fear of success. And oftentimes they're a little bit of the same, because we're afraid of, if we're afraid of failure in a sense, if we make a mistake, will we blow it? But if we succeed, oh my gosh, is it only down from there? So if I reach the top, where do I go from then? And that can be paralyzing. So it can sabotage you not to take any action. What you have to wrap your mind around is the fact that mistakes are healthy and even vital for you moving forward. The lessons you learn from them are meant to bring you something greater. And it's all part of the manifestation process. So you're not just going to go set an intention and poof, it'll appear. I mean, maybe sometimes it happens that way. There's certain things like you're looking for a parking spot and poop, there it is, right? But, is it the exact right parking spot you wanted, or did you just settle for whatever parking spot existed, right? So sometimes you got to wait for the mistakes to happen. The littlest details can be out of order, and you might feel like you want to hold back or step away, and that's fear rising up. So I know it's kind of a contradiction, well, don't act, what should I do, Jenny? But it's kind of find a blend. Any motion forward is forward motion, even if it's a value mistake or detour, if it's done in alignment. So blend the taking action with the stepping back from impulsive action, and you'll get that delicate balance this new moon. So I hope that helps you identify some common blocks that you may be up against. So just take some time, journal it out, see what comes up for you in these areas, and we'll take it from there. Well, I reviewed the universal energy for Aries and some common blocks you might bump into this coming manifestation. So now we're up to the final part. This is your personal intention setting. Now you want to go sit down to put your manifestation into motion, and it's whatever ritual you choose. Maybe it's a meditation, maybe it's a full-on ritual with candles and crystals and whatnot. And so whatever it is for you, set your intentions. And as you're doing that, you want to consider these final questions. What do I want to manifest? Can I truly be me in this manifestation? Is it safe for me to remove the mask and surrender to who I am? Am I ready to take action, or is fear holding me back? Do I need to check in with my heart before taking an action? So that wraps up this new moon intentions report for Aries in action. I wish you happy manifesting, and I'll see you next month for Taurus. I'm Jenny D. You can find me at www.jennydauthor.com/new moon intentions, and you can find me on my YouTube channel. I also do written personalized new moon reports and have co-authored a full children's astrology and numerology series. It's also great for beginning adults. I'll put all the links below in the video, and I will see you next month. Namaste.